Now, the Shaolin Temple, the self-styled cradle of Chinese Kung Fu, faces losing its top tourist site rating after it was found littered with garbage and being the cause of traffic congestion. The China Daily newspaper said the site could lose its 5A class, China's top rating for scenic spots in terms of service, quality and environment, due to poor management. This system ranks sites from 1A at the lower end up to 5A at the top, and the findings came to light during an undercover investigation by the National Tourism Administration last year. Now, this cited chaotic parking, unlicensed taxis, hawkers chasing down tourists to sell them souvenirs, and scammers dressed as monks telling fortunes or selling things. In December, the National Quality Ranking Committee of Tourist Attractions issued a warning that the temple had until the end of March 2012 to address the problems, or it would be demoted to a 4A ranking. Well, given the site's fame, this news aroused quite a bit of discussion online about how exactly this tourist attraction rating system works and the problems that exist within the management of these officially recognised tourist sites. To find out more about what's being said about this online, let's cross over to the newsroom now, where our researcher Julia Liu has been following the discussion. Okay, so first of all, Julia, as far as I can remember, every time I see one of these plaques, it always seems to be a 5A site. So are they reasonably common then in China?
Well, as you mentioned, the 5A class is China's top classification for scenic spots. And attractions in this category are supposed to represent the nation's best tourist attractions. And they must receive an excellent rating in 8 separate categories, including transportation infrastructure, to tourist services, and to hygiene conditions. As to how common they are, well, I suppose it's all subjective. As of September 2011, there were 119 5A class scenic spots throughout China, including Hangzhou's West Lake, Huangshan Mountain, and the Badaling section of the Great Wall near Beijing. So considering China's long history and the size of the country, I suppose some people might say it's not that many. But what is surprising is that from what I've seen online, not many people seem to know much about how the system works. But after the news about the Shaolin Temple came out, people started asking questions about this. In fact, several websites set up special pages discussing these 5A so-called class scenic spots in China. So, in other words, this seems to be the first time that many people have actually looked into this rating system. And many are surprised to see which sites are and which aren't in this 5A grouping.
So what do you mean by net users being surprised at what's on the list? Are they not happy with the rankings?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Net users seem to have plenty of dissatisfaction to express on the internet. And the main complaint is on the standard of these top-rated sites. One thing a lot of people mention is that many 5A scenic spots are actually artificial rather than real historical sites. For example, the Millennium Park at Kaifeng in Henan province. Well, this is simply a theme park which recreates in real life the scene of one of China's most famous ancient paintings, a riverside scene of pure brightness. And this poster on Sohu.com says, "To my way of thinking, a 5A should be at least real, either natural things or historical sites. Have those who are in charge of the rating considered the feeling of visitors by giving a top grade to such a counterfeit?" Well, this poster is upset that some favorites of his aren't on the 5A list. He writes on CNTV.com, "With this criteria for making the grade, it's not surprising to see the ends of the earth, a monument at the southernmost point of China in Hainan, doesn't make the 5A list. Even though it has a high reputation among tourists, it's not strong on promotion and managing." And this poster feels money may play a role too. Tiger Beach Ocean Park in Dalian managed to make a 5A by spending $5 million on refurbishment. The number of beautiful natural scenery sites in northeastern China in the 5A class is far fewer than these artificial ones in the southeast. Well, that has a lot to do with the fact that it seems the criteria for these sites has more to do with how they are managed and what profit they bring in than with their actual natural beauty. And this preference for basing the rating on money, spending potential rather than scenery, seems to be becoming more pronounced.
Okay, so what about this particular case of the Shaolin Temple having to get its act together and spruce up a bit? Do people think this warning will be effective?
Well, kind of. As for the improvements demanded, net users are generally supportive and seem to feel that to some degree this can help solve the disorder in management. Bob King has these comments on QQ.com. Complaints from net users about the chaos and over-commercialization at the Shaolin Temple have been around for a long time. Personally, I really feel the strict requirements and stern warning like this will mark the beginning of a complete overhaul of the operations at these tour sites. But as I said, most net users feel that the rating system itself is the problem at the very beginning. Never mind any changes. This poster has an analysis on the numbers in each category, which he feels shows there is something very wrong with the system. Here's his post on Sina.com. A normal structure for a rating or ranking system should be a pyramid in which the number increases from 5A to 1A. This shows the value of the top ones. But in China, after 2A, which has the largest number of sites, comes 4A and then 3A and 1A. So 4A sites are not rare at all. This uneven structure makes a mockery of the system's credibility. And finally, some posters call for a complete break and suggest a new concept, Green Globe 21. This is the worldwide environment standard for the tourism industry. Qi Lu Laifeng has this to say on Sohu.com. The current system in China is based more on attracting investors and customers while ignoring the protection of the natural environment or the wishes of visitors. It's time to learn from the internationally accepted standard, which is based on the consideration of sustainable development.